god, that was really good. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here back to round 6 of D.LEAGUE of the 2023-2024 season. It is going to be between Septeni Raptures and Cyberagent Legit. I've been looking forward to this ever since I discovered the whole deal with Jet Boy Bangers and these 3 crews of D.LEAGUE. You have Sega Sammy, Cyberagent, and Septeni Raptures. So just like I know with Cyberagent and Sega always gets that audience vote because a lot of those members are really popular within that group, so I totally get that. But I'm very intrigued on how Cyberagent and Septeni are going to go. Yes, I've already seen round 7 in the ciphers. Yes, they did show stats with the members, but for me, I'm still not super familiar with whether the stats included ties or not. So I technically don't really know who took which match and to what degree, nor if they're shutouts. So I'm pretty much looking forward to this. It's going to be really fun, and let's get into it. Sometimes they got that volume, that music's so low. Sounds like beatboxing. Okay. I'm a sucker for a good butterfly, I tell you what. Dude, I'd want to be in this set. This looks freaking bomb. I would want to learn this. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Okay, get that BPM up. Let's go, let's go. So, like, what did you do? Yes to this. Okay. Yeah. I really like that a lot. Okay, so from the top, I know the concept has to do with being a thief. So that I understand and glean from my handy dandy Google Translate. So right here from the top, they start pretty quick. It could just be how they cut it or what, but yeah, they start pretty quick. They go over, they do a really good job of catching sound. I'm very much a fan of that. Everybody came kind of making their own interpretation on the do on just that exact. Honestly, you could call it wordplay or maybe sound play because it does like straight beatboxing, which is cool. The leaps, everybody's running around. I love the quick feet right there. The syncopation on that, super nice. And then having everyone from there melt it down. Doom, doom, doom. I love that. Very ping pong effect. And they all go down. And then having them all sneaky. What is it? Swipe or no swipey, right? They look through. Of course, you have this little boombox that gets to come into play a lot more throughout the piece. So it's nice to see it at the forefront. They're looking around. We see this about 3 times, which is great. I'm all up for a repetitive, kind of sequence. It's the rhythm, which is great. Of course, you always have to factor in, who are they up against? Cyberagent. I don't know who could take audience or anything like that. I'll have to watch, and I may just take a wild guess. And also, Cyberagent has been very consistent in terms of the concept they bring and always doing pretty high and scoring pretty high with the judges. So I'm curious about as to maybe some of their choices could be potentially overly simplistic for who they're against. I don't know, but we'll find out. It all depends on what Cyberagent brings. But I really like this this concept. It really grew on me, literally. So I love how you have one feature in the center, everybody doing more of a heel toe, and then this butterfly was disgusting. It was so good. Molding it in, that do-do-do-do-do. Oh, yes to that. Switching it up, doom, doom, da-da-da-da, pop, pop. Yes, 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 yes. And everybody kind of has their own little different thing. So I'm assuming maybe it's things that they've either stolen or just little references of something. I'm not quite sure to that extent. I do just know that some of the movement, maybe conceptually that's what they had in mind. The digging through do. It does feel like the tracksuits look dirty. So I wonder if that plays into it. Homeless thieves, I don't know. But I love the switch over. Digging it through. I love the syncopation on this. It does remind me a little bit of, Avex does bring a lot of this kind of groove in the lower half with syncopation and isos in the upper half. So that's probably what I'm gleaning from here. I really like that. And so it's cool to see this on Septeni. They definitely showcase a wide concept range, which kudos to them for that, I love that little da-da-da-da, boom, boom, da-da-da-da. Yes, with the wave. I'm always a fan when we got our fingers in check when we do our waving. Love that. D and bringing it through. Love how they took this left arm and they brought it around and with that leg. That's super sick. Yeah. D, ba, da, da. So cool. With the walk, super nice. That we see that multiple times at the beginning. We see that here and we see it at the end. Really nice kind of little catchphrase, which is really fun. They go, what? Oh, yeah, that's just super, super dope. Everybody breaks away, da-da-da-da, but it's different than the beginning. The beginning, it was more spastic here. It's more structured in terms of where they're going and how they're going about it. So I went and did a little Google search again on the title, and it just translates to D-LEAGUE, D-E-L-O-N. So if you want to let me know what that means or the true concept of this, I would greatly appreciate it. I do know judges care about concept, even though it's technically not in the criteria. It is still something that they factor in. This is very, very clean from them for sure. I love that. Great syncopation, then digging into it. Love my front feature, just really going ham and really using the bend of the knee to just get low there. I love that. Taking it out, they go up, and then boom with a little dig through. Love that choice too. It's just very full. That pull and the traveling it all the way down. They do a great job syncopating, because that's a tricky thing too, is when you have a certain sound in mind, like the mouth being used for sounds like this, it is tricky to make sure that you have different textures represented, even though your timbre is the same. So that is my overall sound context. It comes from the same source. So your body's going to want to respond to it very similarly, hence the tricky part about it, which can up your complexity if you showcase variety within that. So they're doing a, once again, great job. I love that ding, 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 bong. Love that break. That was cool. Great lighting choice there. Once again, really nice rock and bounce on this. Hitting it, ba-da-da-ba. They're hitting that ding, ding. Very well, progressing it, making it very full. The bleed up, really nice for going from my center to the outsides and then branching it forward. Really cool. Love that melt, melt. Super dope. They go da-da, and then they circular it. Gosh, English, Jess. But really taking it and modifying the, what is it? Modifying it around, and then you get that. I literally, you can make that sound if you hold your mouth out like that. So that was really cool. She goes, what? Boom, boom. Great commitment with the usage of the head there. Boom, boom, boom. It does feel very conversational, but everyone's taking the same type of breath. And I love that. It feels very unified, especially when you're using mouth as your main sound context. Having everybody on the same page here with what you use to talk is really, really vital for this type of concept. And they're doing a great job there. Love that there too. Boom, 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 boom. And then they bring it up, showcasing the mug, showcasing a rag. They do give off bedazzled homeless thieves is what it comes across as. I could be so wrong. I tried. I did look at Google Translate and it did not translate the way it needed to, I think. I'm on the right page to a certain degree. I like this with the boombox has now entered the chat. We've really allowed it to kind of take the reins on this section. Everyone gets to do their own kind of personal perspective. Love that. And it feels kind of out of nowhere, even though they rehearsed with it. Good musicality call because it kind of interrupts the flow, but they hit it and they represented it, so it was intentional, which was really nice to see. He goes, he puts it down. He's like, hey, I don't want to touch it. And they go, what? What's going on? Do-do-do, explosion of energy. Love that choice. Do-do-do-do-do. And they're like, hey, something's off about this. I'm getting a little crazy here. Yeah, and there was a chance that maybe he overshot with that boombox. Maybe he didn't, that's fine. It's just little choices like that. I love that look. Have the energy bringing it through. run it. He goes, hey, take this. I don't want it. They're like, hey. It's the push-pull. And I love the energy transfer. It really feels like they're all being affected by the boombox in a different way. Or it may not even be a boombox and I'm just making all this up. So whatever apparatus or prop this is, it is nice where we get to see kind of this demonstration of collaboration. It does feel like we were supposed to be in the spotlight there, but we kind of made our way about halfway through, which is fine. They feel the burden of whatever they're carrying, which is kind of cool. That little doom, great syncopation, really great utilization of individuality as well. The run right here, really great staging on this, spacing, divine. I love it. Here's the thing, one of my favorite parts about this is how many ways can you utilize 8 people on a stage and not make it look off balance? And they always do a pretty great job of that. Now the swing through range looks great. Some people are really utilizing their legs in that lower half. I would say my guy over here didn't quite use his legs to the same extent, but it's very minimal, and because it's on the outside, it's a little bit easier. As long as the range of the upper body's in play, it can really help with all of that. And here's why it's important for your lower half to be on the same page. Because what happens is if you really lift that leg and you provide your hips right here, you're going to push back ever so slightly, and it's going to cause this hinge to take place in the upper body. Because he's not doing that, that's why his body's not as hinged as some of his counterparts. So that's just my general note. That's why it's important to make sure your lower half is on the same page, just so you're able to see that nice and easy. I love that D. And then, of course, we're hitting it through. Bum. Nice little liberty points happening there. Nice little jumps. Of course, jumps are just a smidgen off. Not everybody's on the same page, but it kind of feels like, you know, it feels a bit unhinged, maybe intentionally in that way. The slow motion, everybody dropping down, doom, as we have a response from our feature, which is really nice. I love that boom, the brr, love that choice there. Bringing it through, the right there into the actual vocals. Of course, we had that drop beat of, not the drop beat, of just the breakdown with the sound production and using like a beat pad and stuff. That was definitely improved in this. Or not improved, but it's definitely showcased and really helped provide more direction, a more descriptive vocabulary to the track. And here we've gone back to the vocals, which is nice, and we've gone back to the movement that tailors to what we've already done texture-wise, but it is different in context, which is really nice. They pull it and they move. They look through it, they go, shh, their little boombox, and they go, what? And then they just book it. I loved that. That was really, really fun, and it makes me very excited to see Cyberagent, so let's go ahead and check it out. Ugh. Wow, okay. So both of them got that rock and bounce in play here. I guess we're looking at who's going to have more complexity, more showcase of choreographic creativity. That was nice. Oh. Come on. Oh, those CCs as they traveled them were gorgeous. Oh my God. Little bit of house mixed with a little bit of those ISOs that you would get when you do popping, which is what we're seeing right here. That was a really nice transition. Oh my God. Yeah, the spacing was a little bit off there. Come on. Mr. Jetboy Banger, I see you. Ah! Oh my God, that was really good. Okay, if I were to give an audience vote, I would give my vote to Cyberagent. out of preference, not out of like any objective thought, because I really, really appreciated their speed changes and their usage of transitions throughout the different styles they were representing. They said a little bit of house, a little bit of popping, a little bit of breaking, and a lot of fun. So let's talk about this. Okay, so this piece is like ignite soul, like igniting your soul on fire. So honestly, soul could be in reference to like Soul Train, like the funk era, but then ignite, like usage of a flame. And then when you think about igniting someone's soul, it's similar to like building up the energy of, you know, motivation, momentum, things like that. So I think they did a really good job conceptually with that. It's a more universal, more street style, contextual type of concept, which if you really think about it, it could fare pretty well on a regular competitive stage. That concept normally isn't like a big factor in. Like that could fare pretty good though. Now this right here, just this whole beginning with the freeze and everybody with the backwards roll with the hip kind of hinge rotation to come up. It's awesome right there into an air flare, switching it over. I love that. Right there into a slow-mo freeze. God, it's so cool. Then having the slow-mo in reference with everybody else. Uses the fire. It definitely feels, you know, like we are watching the fire be kindled almost, which is really cool. Everybody there having a nice little reverb moment. The simple walk forward, which is really nice. Boom. Now this right here, that rock and that bounce, so good. And it does remind me, you know, you have Septeni brought this style but more within their concept with, you know, the type of vocal and the usage of their backbeat. They brought the rock and the bounce in this way. So they're matching energy in that regard. It's simple, but also notice they did a little tonal twist there. Love that with the throw, chest rotation to drop it to the side. It's very clear, very intentional, and very clean. And love the little dig right there with the double. God, that's so cool. Digging in. Love that with the wave, then bringing it up and around. God, I'm a fan of this. Then right there, boom, really taking that head. My goodness gracious. The fullness of commitment all the way to the head is amazing. Boom, 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 boom. Love that choice right there too. Down, up, boom, and then look at that. Look at that. Woo! Into that little speed change is sick. And taking it, threading it through their opening and then causing them to rotate around is really sick. That was super cool. Then taking it, rotating from the chest and then causing it to transition us over. Love this right here. Boom, da-da-da, little pot pourri moment. Little spacing issue right there, but they fixed it, no problem. Taking it, and because they're using such a huge legato groove, it does feel like they're a flame almost in their groove. And I love that. Hitting it down, boom. We saw that in Septeni. Septeni did something very similar to that type of drop, and we're seeing it here. And there's a lot of overlap in some of the vocabulary, but the difference is they added more, which is the biggest thing I noted about Septeni. So you have to be careful whenever you're going to repeat grooves or repeat sequences. Cyberagent doesn't quite do that, and they bring a ton of complexity within speed changes, within dynamics, within texture shifts, and within styles represented. They do a very good job showing the fundamental grasp of the styles they choose to present in their set. In this case, it was very clearly depicted into 3 different ones. So you have your hip hop right here. I love that. Ding, 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 ding. God, that was so cool. Bringing it down, boom, boom, and notice they're letting that auto-tune voice control the legato and how it goes down. Woo! And let that little extra hit from one of our guys before we bring it right here. It goes do-do-do-do-do, boom, boom. Super dope right here. Love that click, 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 click. Dropping it down. I think he's also a Jet Boy banger. They take it. Love the connection of where they're looking with their head. They take it. They drop it down. Whew. Love this. BPM also elevates just like what you saw from Septeni. So they're basically taking what Septeni did. They're kind of elevating it a little bit in each category. I would say in style, cleanliness, creativity, and skill, they're doing a pretty good job holding that down. So I'm not gonna lie, it's looking like Cyber may take this match, at least from my observation. Now the breaking section was freaking sick. I think I became a fan of B-Boy. Was it Show? Let me look real quick. B-Boy Shosei, and I became a fan because I really enjoyed his particular set in, I think it was round 7, Cypher 1. I really liked his choice and how there's some of his freeze choices were freaking awesome. And it's just really nice to see the overlap here, obviously. But just seeing that right there, going to the CCs, when they're taking the CC, they're getting it faster and they're transitioning it out. God, that's so cool. And then they're bringing it through right there, about to get into the 6th step, and then they take it into a Zulu spin, into a freeze. Ah! So fun. And then they take it, put it up. Nice little twist of the hip, and they drop that bad boy down, hitting it through. I love that with a little pop action, lowering through. Nice little social dance vibes. And I love the smile too. It's so fun for them to look like they're really enjoying themselves. It makes me want to enjoy it too. You know, great diagonals, a double diagonal, very clear to see where everybody is. Of course, because of our angle, some of us are a little bit covered up, but then right there, something that I have noticed with Cyberagent is they do, it's not the exact same format of popping, but it is a very predictable pocket of popping that I see from them. Can that work against them? With this panel of judges, maybe, because they do remember, things. I also remember things, so the only category that could really take down a notch would be creativity if they have similar setups of the style, but it doesn't take away the skill that it takes to do it. Does that make sense? That's why it's important to have different categories. Your skill, or what they bring, it should not be affected by the actual creativity of how they're doing the skill. So for me here, I would say, like, definitely appreciate, of course, this is kind of your Cyberagent setup is what I would call this. Love that. They take it, bring it around, and then, of course, very seamlessly going into a mirrored formation here, and then having them drop, and then having them choose to syncopate in a different angle, and love the speed change. God, I love the speed change. With the head, too, the importance of where your head goes was so subtle, but so effective here, right? Little boogaloo action. I love that. Now, I don't think they quite hit the nail on the head on this column. It is pretty off, so that'd be my one note to give them. Going from that double diagonal, making sure you line up that column so we can really appreciate this moment before turning to have this next one. I love this. They're taking it, and then they're using it as a freaking fixed point. Here he is. I think that's, oh man, is it Takumi? Now I gotta go look. Hold on. It is Takumi. Takumi is the leader of Cyberagent, and yes, he is also in Jetboy Bangers. I forgot the name of his teammate, but he's the one I remember the most because he is normally, for the most part, featured in the popping section in some way, shape, or form. Even with Jetboy Bangers, it's kind of a formula they have. So if you wanted to provide any sort of note, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I really have a note. I kind of don't mind seeing him every single time do a popping section. It's cool. And how he does it is great. His pop is clear and clean. And so maybe I'm even hesitant to even give the suggestion of have somebody else featured. I think he's holding it down every time. And it's kind of an expectation. So I guess maybe if they wanted to deviate from the type of expectation that you would have while watching, that could be a suggestion of maybe trading him out for somebody else, not in the actual match, but in like the format of the section. Maybe, does that make sense? But even then, I'm not even a believer in my own statement, so I'm just gonna stop it right there. They don't have to do that. This was freaking great though. Like honestly, this section's freaking sick. I love that boom. He also held it down in that duo round. I think it was round 2. It was round 2, right? Yeah, that D. Yep, I love how they all come up. Just the energy right here. He is so freaking clean in his pops. I love it so much. And then seeing that from one side to the other is really nice to see. And he get through doom, really clean. Picks it up. Gosh, the S's on that is super nice. Now the tricky thing is everybody else has to be on the same page as him whenever they integrate themselves back in, and they do, and it looks great. That was sick. They hit it, boom, and then they turn into a freaking speed change with a hinge with a wave. Golly, that was cool. Right there, completing the wave. I love that. They bring it through, build it up, then they take it, do, and so they go boom. So they rode between the actual run of the auto-tune voice into that, which is such a fan, but they tied in the hands and use the waving to travel it down, use the staccato of the leg to travel it back up. Then we're playing around with it in our transition. Gosh, I love that. Bring it out and in. And then they come back in. I love that control he has to really showcase everybody coming up. And then they roll it through. Nice little pop action there. Yep, once again, freaking sick. It's freaking sick. Yeah, boom, doom. Golly, this is cool. Yeah, so really happy on the popping compared to all the other sections where they hold it down so well. Septeni did cater more towards the rock and the bounce for the majority of the other set, but some of the tricks, meaning complexity within the style and some of the tricks that were used, or a little bit, they focus more on their formula of having individuality within chaos but structure, and they did it a couple of times, and they did repeat a couple of grooves. But here, we didn't really quite see a huge repeat occur, so unless it was an individual move and they changed the dynamic of in real time, if that makes sense. So right here, very clean, waving it in, really big fan of that. Switching through, boom, boom, dropping it down, switching it in, ding, 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 really nice strobing. Honestly, I would even say they're ticking more so than strobing because it's more full, more of an explosion. I like the commitment of the hair. Everybody has that more gray tone hair for this. Yeah, right there. I love the choice where we go boom and boom with the legs and then having the wave extend to the outside, then having it cross over in the middle. So also having your feature. It's just really nice to see that. And they go boom. Look at the finger. Like, I mean, it's, you can call it's finger wave, but the articulation, so like being very mindful of the joints and how they're complementing each other as it comes up. It's really hard to get everybody on the same page on this, on that type of thing. And then having that very quick turnaround with this little fist raise, golly, that was freaking sick. So if I were to place my votes, I think Cyberagent got, I think they got audience because I think they've been, I don't know. I think theirs was very, very entertaining. Both were, but I think theirs carried a lot of more wow factors. So maybe the audience would tailor more towards that. If we're going to itemize, or if I were to give an item, like my personal items to the teams, because I'm not going to do points because that's, I don't understand their point value scale as much as I do about their items. So we'll do that for skill. I would give it to Cyber for that because, like I said, complexity of the skills. Creativity, I don't like factoring in concept because especially that first one was really hard for me to understand concept wise. And I did look at Google Translate. I did like the bookends of the Ignite, but if we're going off of creativity, I think I really appreciated a lot of the speed change choices that they made. It really caught me off guard. So I'd also give that to Cyber. When it comes to choreography, I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. I'd also give that to Cyber. I mean, for me, Cyber would get all 5 of my items, if I'm being honest, because it kind of feels like they took what Septeni did and elevated it, which is kind of similar to whenever you do a battle and somebody goes first and whoever goes second, they take all of the items that the first person did, but they like make them better. Does that make sense? It's the one-up mentality. It really felt like Cyber one-upped Septeni here, regardless if that was the intention or not, but that's how it felt. And I think, could they shut out? I don't know if it's a shutout, but I do think that, I do feel that Cyber will probably take this one with a couple votes on their side. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. And like I've been saying for round 6 specifically, I am not finding out who won these matches until I'm done with all of the matches. So please keep that in mind when you do choose to comment. Please wait until you see the judges commentary video for the round uploaded before commenting on whether who won or who lost, because I technically don't know yet until that video gets recorded. So I am making my way, really enjoying my time with D.LEAGUE as always, and I am slowly but surely catching up. Hopefully this time next week I will be caught up and I will be on round 8 reacting to round 8 in real time. That would be incredible, but we'll see how the tides turn for that. Once again, I am Jess. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.